Hello, my name is Omar Rampersad. It's Sunday, April 29, 2018 at 3:39 p.m. in Toronto. So I'm going to read an article to you today that I found in the National Post. This is about the lady Rohini Besasa um, and the way the case was handled. So I found it really interesting, um, the way that she was treated in the system. So I'm just going to read that article for you. And I'll post the link under the video that I'm posting. And this is, again, as I said, in a National Post newspaper. And there is a really nice picture of this lady, very well dressed, professional, um, very educated looking, and very professional looking in a corner office. So there was obviously nothing wrong with her, while she was working in this particular job. So I'm just gonna read this a little bit of the article. A woman accused of fatally stabbing a stranger in downtown Toronto drugstore last December is in hospital, but no one seems to know when or why she was removed from the Milton, Ontario jail. No one knew, not even her lawyer. Rahini Bissassa, 40, was due to appear via video link at Old City Hall Court on Wednesday afternoon, but instead a bewildered guard at the Vanier Center for Women appeared on the monitor in her place. Bissassa is in the hospital, he told the court, but he had no idea when or why she was removed from her jail cell. I can't even tell you what hospital. Again, Bissassa is in the hospital, he told the court, but he had no idea when or why she was removed from her jail cell. I can't even tell you what hospital. He advised the court to check with the records department at Vanier because the piece of paper on the clipboard he held in his hand contained none of the relevant information. A correctional officer who answered the phone at Vanier said she was not authorized to give out personal details about Bissassa, but she did tell the Post that Bissassa was on the last prison roll, excuse me. But she did tell the Post that Bissassa was on the last prison roll call recorded Tuesday night. So sometime after midnight, the alleged murderer was taken to the hospital. The Crown and even Bessassa's lawyer, David Burke, were surprised by the latest development in a case that has suffered a number of delays since Bissassa was arrested on December 15th, following a manhunt that lasted several days. It's a surprise to everyone, Burke said outside the courtroom Wednesday. Even the very guard that showed up on the video seemed to be very poorly informed. When asked whether the person should have notified Bessassa's defense team when she was moved to the hospital, Burke said, apparently not. It's really unfortunate, Burke said. Canada's legal system works not at all like you see on TV. Say that again. It's really unfortunate, Burke said. Canada's legal system works not at all like you see on TV. And I could tell you for a fact it does not. He and defense lawyer Calvin Berry are representing Bessassa. Burke would not say when he or Berry last saw Bessassa, only that she has been visited recently and regularly. There was another bizarre development. The word bizarre should be emphasized here. There was another bizarre development. A man approached Burke when he exited the courtroom and announced that he wanted to ask Bessassa out on a date. Very interesting. The man said he had important information for Bessassa, but Burke declined to accept the letter. I'll leave you to have your own opinions on that. I definitely have mine, which I'm going to keep to myself because I do not want to influence your opinions. When reporters gathered around Burke, the man walked away. He left the courtroom with the folded up piece of paper still in his hand. Wednesday's hearing was scheduled because Bessassa launched into a bizarre rant about terrorists and the Prime Minister when she appeared via video link on Monday. She was advised not to speak and asked to return 2 days later. Keep in mind, she was on antipsychotic drugs. At the time, she also proclaimed her innocence and said that she had been damaged during the last 4 months she has spent in prison. At the time of her arrest, a friend told the National Post that Bessassa's mental health had deteriorated in recent years. She was alienated from her family and she appeared to be increasingly paranoid, Karl Godowski said. When asked if Bessassa would undergo a psychological assessment, Burke said, obviously, that's something that's always been a question, but I'm not speaking any further on that. As of 4:30 p.m., Bessassa's defense team still did not know why she had been hospitalized. Bessassa received an MBA from York University in 2007 and was a financial district regular, but failed to find permanent work. On December 11th, that's a very interesting, very, very interesting fact to keep in mind. On December 11th, she allegedly walked into a Shoppers Drug Mart, into a Shoppers Drug Mart in the financial district's underground path system, and hacked a knife into a 28-year-old newlywed, Rosemary Juno, a woman whom police said she had never met before. Bessassa then allegedly walked away. Bessassa is charged with first-degree murder. If found guilty, she faces a minimum sentence of life in prison with no chance of parole for 25 years. So there you go. Some very interesting facts to keep in mind. I posted some links about illegal experimentation on people. And the experimentation, one of the experiment that's being carried on based on the observation that I had in this building, that I made in this building, and the experiences I had in this building, is to take very, very intelligent people and try to turn them into criminals or prostitutes. And as I said before in my other videos, I believe I'm being targeted this way by traffickers, by Chinese traffickers in this area and other traffickers as well from other ethnic backgrounds who sell prostitutes and slaves back and forth. They sell them between their groups, their ethnic groups, and depending on the kind of sale they get, the money, the demand for certain kinds of people, certain skin color, certain intellectual capacity, certain look, certain height, beauty. All this is taken into account when they sell between themselves, the gangs and the traffickers. So, as I said before in some of my tweets that I posted a few days ago and yesterday, I suspect that this lady was being remotely trafficked, and I think she was being experimented on. Now, as I said in one of my tweets before, here we are in 2018, and we are in the era where we can drive a car. People can drive cars using their minds just by thought. And yet, when women especially complain that they're being gang stalked and cyber stalked, and being experimented on to be turned into prostitutes, trained as prostitutes, being hit with lasers and microwaves. This is such old technology. We are being told repeatedly that something is wrong with us. We are mentally ill. This does not make sense because the technology has progressed so far, so quickly, and right now we are so advanced in our in the technological capability as a society. Um, if a woman, I would think that if a woman would tell a policeman that somebody is hitting me with lasers as I sleep, and somebody's looking at me as I sleep and hitting me in my genitals with a laser, this would be so believable that there would be no chance in hell that the policeman would turn around and say, I think you're paranoid. Because why would they target you in a time when trafficking is so lucrative and so common? For a policeman to tell a woman who's telling the policeman that I think I'm being trafficked, for that policeman or woman, a police woman, to tell the person, I think you're paranoid and you're mentally ill, it seems totally illogical given the times that we're in. So again, I think this person, Rohini Besasa, was an experimental subject, and I think that she was declared mentally incapacitated to shut her up, basically, not to give her a voice, not to have a trial, not to dig into the situation, not to get the information out in the open, because there are other cases that's going on, other experiments that's going on, and if this one is exposed, then it will it will mess up the other ones. It will bring things up in the light. It will expose the whole program that's being run by on a whole lot of people, kids, especially kids. This program targets children because it's a training program. So the people who are making trillions of dollars, and I mean that when I say trillions, not billions, trillions of dollars in trafficking, simply do not want this program and the technology that's being used exposed. So I'm going to stop there and let you think about what I said. If you have kids, definitely think about what I said, especially. Talk to you another time.